So it is graduation season.
Yes.
Entering the real world, it can be scary after you get your diploma, right?
Yeah.
But the question is, which is harder? Negotiating salary or breaking up with someone?
Who pairs this together?
Who said, here's a study that we must pay for?
Yeah.
Let's look at this study. So what was the answer?
So
Maria?
new research shows grads are finding it more scary and stressful to talk salary than cutting it off with someone.
Oh, wow, that's. I guess they said. What were you going to say?
Well, I mean, I could sort of understand it because, like, it kind of depends on how deep your relationship is.
True,
Maybe you don't have
yeah.
a deep relationship yet, and you don't have that type of like 4 or 5 year
Not a
like
lot of
steady relationship. Unless you have like a
forethought.
high school sweetheart you're carrying through, like
Yeah.
you probably haven't had that like sort of portion of your life yet.
Bee Gees, how deep is your love? Apparently, it's not all that. It's not all that deep just yet.
not
I
yet.
found this interesting though. So they also asked this question according to the survey: which is harder, filing your taxes or building IKEA furniture? Which is harder? Which would you say is
I
harder?
don't know.
Taxes for
IKEA.
Joseph had to think about it for a
IKEA.
second.
For me, IKEA. My
That's
taxes
funny.
are, it's
Survey says, according to this, 52% said taxes were harder, but a strong 39% said
Yeah,
IKEA
buddy.
furniture was harder.
Funny.
But does it speak to a larger issue of people who are graduating not necessarily being ready for the real world and the real world experiences that come with that? So if that's balancing a checkbook, if that's getting a job in your selected field, if that's paying your bills every month. Think back to
Yeah,
when you
literally.
graduated college. Did you know, did you have something lined up like right out of school, Maria?
I did, thankfully, which is not always easy.
Right.
But I mean, I still had a roommate. I still had, we had to figure that stuff out together.
Were you thinking about bills at that point? Like, was that a big concern? Do you remember?
Not really.
No?
I mean, I feel like it was new.
It was new.
It was definitely new. And so I had to navigate it. for
Joseph,
sure.
think back to when you graduated. Like, what were your big concerns when you graduated school?
I mean, I had to find so I had like a local bank,
Yeah.
in my community. I had to find a bank that I could get in a whole
Oh,
different area.
yeah,
So I had to
sure.
transfer
Yeah.
funds.
You had to do it like a Chase Bank, for example. You had like a little credit union or something. You had to
Right,
Sure.
had to
okay.
figure all that. So yeah, I mean, I had some, stressors, approaching real life stuff out of college.
Especially when you don't make much out of college.
That too.
Ooh-wee.
And then that's tough. And the first time asking for a raise,
Yeah.
it's terrifying.
I couldn't get that. And not only that, but you just talked about money. You think about anyone who's paying off student loans too.
right.
Finding that job is going to be critical because, once you start student loans, if you have them, you got to pay those off. So I totally get that too.
So there's way more into that than breaking up with a loved one. Maybe in the future I'll see.
Maybe in the future, you'll say, right?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? Agree or disagree? Let us know in the comments.
So it's getting to be that graduation time, means figuring out those gifts.
According to a National Retail Federation survey, people will spend on average about $116 on graduation gifts, up nearly $20 over 10 years. Now, more than half of respondents plan to give out money, about a third a gift card. So what do you two give for graduation gifts?
We give money.
Oh, yeah.
And we are on that circuit now. So it's not my kids yet, but it's like the older siblings
Yes.
of my kids. And so I think we have like 8 graduation parties
Oh.
to attend this year. So it's funny because my husband and I were just talking about this. Like, how much do you give? These are all high school graduates. They're not
Right.
college
Right.
graduates.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, how much do you give? What does it depend on? Like, is it family? Is it friends? Who is it? And I think it sort of depends.
Yeah, same. And I am the same too. I remember graduating from high school. I'm like, everyone just gave me money just because it's so difficult to try and
Yes.
figure out a gift, especially if you want to give something that's useful for college. I mean,
Right.
that's so different for everyone. So money is just the easiest to do.
They could use it where they need
Yes,
that, if they want to
exactly.
bank it for something later
Yeah.
or something like that. I think a gift card might be useful for
Yeah.
maybe getting an electronic that can help you out. Or,
See,
I don't
here's the
know,
thing.
but
Then I
like-
have to go and get said gift card
Yeah,
and then
that's
bring it to the
true, that's true.
graduation.
Sometimes cash is the way
They
to go.
want the money.
but-
Cash is king.
Yeah.
It was interesting though, $116. That seemed pretty high, but
Yeah.
I think what they're also incorporating it in is like, let's say your grandparents give you
Yep.
$250 or maybe give you $500. And that
Yep.
sort of pumps it up. So I think when they looked at the survey, they found like the average person gave between $20 and 200,
Yeah.
let's say there. But, and Minnesota is such a funny place. I didn't know this about Minnesota until I moved here many years ago, but everybody does graduation parties. And that's not a thing where I was from.
Really?
Yes.
Oh
and
my
so,
gosh, here people graduation hop. Like you.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Weekend after
Weekend.
weekend after weekend.
Yes. Yeah. It's
You're going to have
crazy.
to budget for those.
Oh yeah,
those
it's like a
kids.
wedding. You're like on the wedding circuit. We want you to join the conversation, so leave a comment below. Let us know what you think.
Look, a lot of high school seniors getting their diplomas this time of year if they haven't done so already.
After they walk across the stage, are they ready for real life? Are 18-year-olds ready for real
Oh
life?
no.
Were you ready for real life?
No.
No, the answer's no.
Okay, hold on.
Am I ready for real life right now?
But
No.
hold on. But for a second, think about this for a second. When you go back to when you were 18 years old, I know myself. I'm ready. I'm ready to take on the world.
You thought you were ready.
I thought I was,
Right,
but I
that's
also
what I'm saying.
thought, I also
you
knew.
thought you were ready,
Yeah.
but now looking back on 18-year-old AJ, were you ready?
Absolutely not. I was
Right.
absolutely not ready. Yeah.
You thought you were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was not ready. I wasn't even close to being ready.
Did you think you were ready?
No, I didn't. Yeah,
Yeah.
I had no idea what was going on. I was happy to make it to class.
Now Heather is the studious one of the three of us.
Yeah, but looking at what the adulthood duties are, what the experts recommend is that you have your kids understand how to do a tax return, have your kids understand where their health insurance comes from. What? Like if I'm in college and I have to go down and break my ankle, I'm not. It literally
happening?
wasn't. I went down to the place and it wasn't like, oh, I gotta worry about my health insurance. Like it wasn't something that I thought about when I was 18 years old.
I was calling my parents.
Yes.
For the health-
their health
parents.
insurance.
Mom.
Doing, like I was, still.
Oh my
texting
gosh,
them.
Joseph, it still happens?
Yeah, it still happens.
Mom.
Yeah.
Mom.
Yeah.
At 18?
Yeah.
Oh, I have so many years.
Could happen
Oh my
all the way
gosh.
to their 40s.
So many years to
So
go.
in this survey, they took a survey from 300 students and 200
Yep.
parents, and 59% of students said they were not ready to deal with what you just said, credit, taxes, or insurance.
Yeah.
38% of kids did not feel prepared to manage their money. 30% of grads said they felt unready to handle stress and they had mental health concerns.
That is the one that concerns me the
Yeah.
most. Because you can teach a kid how to boil water. You can teach a kid...
That was one of the examples too, boiling
but
water.
You can teach it. One of the things in my house is you can teach a kid how to do their laundry.
Yeah.
But if we aren't doing a good job, and this is something I worry about with my own kids very much so, if we aren't doing a good job in preparing them and making them resilient, then that's going to be tough for them.
I'll tell you what too. We talk about cell phone. We've had this conversation about cell phone use and when kids should have cell phones and whatnot. And I'll tell you what, that's one of the big deterrents too. I worry about, especially when it comes to stress. A lot of it has to deal with social media. It feels like, and the pressures around social media. So if you're not prepared for that, and you're sending them off to whatever is next, and they're not ready, it's a huge concern.
When do you think you were ready? Like, was there a particular age that you said, okay?
Yeah, I'm 30.
Yeah.
30.
I would say it was right around that time
Around
too.
30
Like
years
when I
old.
first thought, like,
Just
getting
taking on more
married, buying a house.
tasks.
Yeah.
All by
Financial
myself,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good conversation, a conversation we should continue to have.
Yeah,
It's a good conversation.
absolutely.
Yeah. Don't miss WCCO Mornings Live right here on our YouTube page.
Subscribe to the channel and be sure to watch our live local news at 7 and 8 a.m. Central Time.